Hello, this is Michael Owens with Here Come the Irish, and you're watching the Two Irish Brothers Show. Go Irish.
How's it going, everyone? I am ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And together we make up the Two Irish Brothers Show. Now, before we get started, two things. Number one, if you guys like the channel and like our content, smash that subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner below. That way you never miss a video. And the number two thing I have to say, to Michigan State. I loved it. I loved every second of it. Anybody who's been following me knows I have some past with some of the MSU fan base, and I'll just leave it right there.
Yeah.
So
it was crazy. It was a crazy weekend for football, man. It was absolutely crazy. So
yeah, it had Wake Forest going down as well. So who knows what that second playoff ranking is going to look like come Tuesday.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be crazy. But focusing on the task at hand.
Yes.
Notre Dame Navy. So as the title of this video says, Notre Dame 34, Navy 6. How about them apples? Notre Dame gets it done against the midshipmen of the Naval Academy.
Or some friends of mine just said on another show that I did earlier, and these are military guys, but they refer to Navy and Air Force as the ugly stepchildren of the military academy, which I didn't think was very cool, because these guys have a tough schedule, a tough daily schedule. Yeah. But those guys' words, not mine. I have nothing but respect for the military academies, all of them, and and I just thought I'd share that joke with you guys that was told by some veteran friends of mine. But yeah, Ben, with this game in particular, I want to focus on some good first. And the number one good is how well our defense played. Aside from aside from one bad series and one big play given up, Navy wasn't able to do much against our defense. Our defense was getting the job done big time against this triple option offense.
Yes. Yeah. No, it was, there's a lot of good and there's some bad, and the good definitely outweighs the bad in this game. But yeah, no, the defense stepped up big time. We kind of had that disappointing performance the week prior, so that to me was nice to see, kind of a bounce back. Angry. We're gonna show that we're mad and we're gonna fix our problems, and they did. Giving up only 6 points, which is 2 field goals, is phenomenal. Absolutely.
Now, come on, Ben.
You're playing. I don't care if it's No Name State or Alabama, or Georgia, I guess, in this year. You give up only 6 points to them. That's nothing to scoff at. So
now come on, Ben. You know better than that, because some people might not have saw the game yesterday. They could have missed. The Navy could have missed an extra point or went for 2 and didn't get it. So they could have scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm just being a wise ass. Oh no! I mean, overall, great performance by the defense. They really shut down the triple option well, and the inside linemen, the defensive tackles, they were really getting it done. And obviously, Kurt Heinisch, he was very deserving of the game ball with that performance that he had.
Yeah, no, we had a bunch of sacks on the defensive side. The defense just totally, took care of business. I mean, that is one of those things that, like we said, the week prior, kind of disappointing with the amount of points that was given up and all that to North Carolina. But, the bounce back was phenomenal. Now, the offense, on the other hand, was once again, pretty disappointing in the beginning. Took us quite a while to get it really going. But then once Notre Dame got it going, then it was all systems go. So, I mean, and what irks me with that is, it's okay, you can do that against Navy. No offense to Navy, but you can do that against Navy. You can't do that against Michigan. You can't do that against Ohio State. You can't do that against
Oregon, Alabama,
you name it.
Texas
So,
Tech, Texas,
I mean,
anybody.
And people know what I'm getting at here. And that is what bothers me. And that's kind of been the broken record of the season, if you will. You know, over and over again, we see the offense slowly starts up. And then once they get their feet wet and and underneath them, then all of a sudden we see it going. So I mean, the line struggled a little bit yesterday, that we've had problems with all year. Cone getting sacked on 4th and what was that, 2 or 3, maybe even 1. I can't remember.
I think it was 4th, and I think it was a 4th and 4, but still.
I mean, the guy was right in the backfield. I mean, so I mean, when it's an elite defense like Georgia's, or something, I can see that happening. But when it's Navy, that just, that kind of that irks me a little bit. But once we got going, though, the numbers weren't too bad. I mean, we saw once again Kevin Austin stepping up, man.
Right before that touchdown, right before the half, that was a beauty.
And his numbers this week are just absolutely insane. 6 targets, 6 catches, 139 yards. I mean, and 1 touchdown, long of 70. Yards after the catch was 71. I mean, just absolutely monster performance from Austin. Just, I mean, monster performance. And back to the Irk thing, what could he have done if we had gotten the ball moving more in the beginning? That's what I look at. I look at lost opportunities.
Well,
but staying on the positive side, 6 targets, 6 catches is nuts. I mean, perfect. He was perfect yesterday. I mean, everything that he was asked to do, he did.
Yes, he did. And you couldn't ask more. You couldn't ask any more out of him. He did phenomenal. But to add on to the point with the passing game, we really should have been doing that from start to finish, and that is going north and south, not east and west.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, because you've seen the north and south attack. I mean, it's been the most part this year. Our north south passing attack has been phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
and back to the disappointment. Once again, Braden Lindsay, his stat line, putrid. 3 targets, 0 catches, 0 yards, 0 touchdowns, on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
I mean, and I hate saying it, and I hate being that guy, but Lindsay is the most overrated player on our roster right now. I'm sorry. And I hate saying that about a young guy. I hate it. But, I mean, we've seen what you can do. We've seen with that burner speed. And, I mean, at first maybe I thought, okay, well, maybe it's Cone. Maybe it's the line and all that. But when it's game in, game out, and you got guys like Kevin Austin putting up numbers,
it's like, why aren't you doing it?
What's going on there? I mean, and maybe he's still injured from last year. I don't know. We don't know any of this. But, I mean, I feel like a broken record, Sean. I feel like every week I'm saying, okay, well, Lindsay didn't do this or Lindsay didn't do that or what's going on.
Well, the trend doesn't lie. I mean, what's happening on that field does not lie, and the numbers back that up. There's, and the thing is, when he has had opportunity, and we've seen it, we were there in the Purdue game when he had that bad drop in the end zone.
Yeah, hit him right in the hands. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if his psyche's thrown off. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's what happened like with the Atlanta Falcons, if it's a Ridley situation where he's got some mental stuff going on. I don't know, but yeah, I'm baffled. But
yeah, it's hard to put it's really hard to, figure out, honestly.
Yeah. But, back to the offense, Kyron Williams continues to be great. How great he could be is amazing because I mean, could you imagine him with like Georgia's offensive line? Could you imagine him with heck, even Oregon's offensive line?
Now I'm going to start slobbering, Ben.
So I mean, 97 yards yesterday, only 2 yards lost, a net gain of 95 yards. His long was 20, average was 5.5 yards, and then 2 touchdowns. I mean, did what he had to do. Tough sledding for him. Navy, you knew Navy would key in on him, and Kevin Austin, and both him and Kevin Austin stepped up big time.
Well, and let's talk about the contributions of our freshman players. Logan Diggs, he provided that two-headed monster with Kyron yesterday, 59 yards on 8 carries and 1 touchdown. But then our freshman receivers, which this may not seem like a lot, but it's contribution. Deion Colsey had 1 catch for 31 yards. Lorenzo Styles, only 1 catch for 13 yards, but still, we saw a little bit of Lorenzo Styles the week before and what he can do. There is potential, and there is talent. So we're starting to see the future unfold right before our eyes. And speaking of the receiving game, Avery Davis, he left the game yesterday with an injury, went into the injury tent. Came out with a bag of ice on his knee. Have you heard anything, Ben? I have not heard anything.
I haven't heard much. I think it'll be talked about in Brian Kelly's press conference. What would that be, tomorrow? I want to say. I think it's, or is it Tuesday?
Well, let me look it up real quick, see if there's anything that we've missed.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard much of that. But yeah, I mean, Lorenzo Styles, not Lorenzo Styles. Colsey, sorry. Targeted twice, caught 1. A freshman, that's something that you build on. You learn from that experience. You're going up against decent athlete, good athletes. I mean, they're Division I, so welcome to the show. Welcome to getting your feet wet, and I'm kind of slobbering and drooling over the fact that I can't wait to see what this offense looks like with Buckner at the helm.
Oh, yes, it's going to be nice.
Guys. I mean, him and Colsey are making noise. They're getting their little opportunities. And, I mean, like you said, Colsey had 31 yards, and Buckner had 9 yards running. And, how many did he have passing? Let's see real quick.
Well, nothing, and just real quick, nothing's been officially announced yet from what I'm seeing, but I think this is from another website. It says with injuries with Avery Davis, we don't yet know the extent of Davis's injury, but the NBC telecast reported that it was severe and that teammates were counseling him on the sideline. So it's safe to assume his chances of playing again this year aren't great. So we'll have to wait and see what for sure Brian Kelly says in his press conference, but yeah.
Yeah, and like typically, I don't know how it's going this week or whatever, but typically Notre Dame has the day off Sunday today. So Monday, I think we'll find out a little more of what's really going on.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, Notre Dame just dominated pretty much in all facets of the game except for one, but the one is it's Navy, and it's the time of possession. Navy dominated in time of possession, which is whatever,
And honestly, until they had that one long drive in the third quarter, which ended in their second field goal of the game, we had been controlling the clock before then.
Yeah,
how often do you see that?
The time of possession is only a 10-minute difference, if it says anything. So I mean, that's still pretty good for playing a team like Navy that just eats the clock. But yeah, Notre Dame had 430 yards total. Navy only had 184. 21 first downs for Notre Dame, 11 for Navy.
And also another key stat too, only 1 completed pass for Navy.
Yeah. Which, I mean,
that's to be expected.
Right. I mean, it's not like, oh my gosh, Notre Dame defense just,
yeah.
Especially since the week prior, Navy completed no passes.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
So yeah, no, that's understandable, and we understand all that. But yeah, the offense, they got to get it going, man. You look at Notre Dame's remaining schedule, and I mean, these are winnable games that Notre Dame's got coming up, but
one of these teams could pick you off if you're not careful, if you don't play efficiently. If you get off, if you can't get off to these slow starts all the time and expect to come out with a victory. It's just, that's not how it works.
You can't lean on that defense constantly.
No, you can't be going 3 and out and 3 and out and 3 and out to start the game. You can't. You have to be efficient. You have to finish with points.
Yep. Yeah, no. And like you said, one of these teams could pick you off. And I mean, look at what's been happening. Yesterday, we saw Florida get beat 40-17 against South Carolina. We saw Michigan State lose to Purdue. We saw Wake Forest lose. We saw Cincinnati struggle. Alabama struggled against LSU. Like, this is the year where if a team like Virginia, like Georgia Tech, like Stanford plays you, they can upset you. I mean, clearly Cincinnati is good. I mean, I hate that we lost to them, but I feel a little bit better about the Cincinnati loss, seeing what they've been able to do this season. But a team like Georgia Tech, a team like Virginia, a team like Stanford, I expect a victory.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway, no, brightness all around. Notre Dame's, fixing some of its problems, and we're slowly kind of building up. Got second playoff rankings coming out. Notre Dame 10th this week. Next week, which I think they come out Tuesday, isn't that?
Yeah,
right?
they usually they always seem to come out. They always come out on Tuesday. So
we'll see how high Notre Dame jumps. Let me pull up the top 25 real quick.
Yeah, we are number 7. We did jump to number 7 in the AP poll, but where we'll jump in the playoff rankings, who knows? Where honestly could you see us jumping, Ben? I think we'll jump at least one spot with Wake Forest getting beat, and Wake Forest was right ahead of us at number 9.
Yeah, in the playoff poll, Wake Forest is ahead of us. Because in the AP poll, we're ahead of Wake Forest. So yes. Playoff rankings, I could see us jumping 1 or 2 spots. Especially now that like Michigan State lost and Wake Forest lost, I could see Notre Dame jumping 2 spots. So I could see Notre Dame coming in at number 8 on the playoff rankings.
And yesterday,
go ahead.
And yesterday, in addition to us beating Navy, that Purdue win over Michigan State and that North Carolina win over Wake Forest really helps us, because those are both teams that we beat, and these are teams that went on to have wins over top 10 opponents. Very next week. So
yeah, I mean, and in college football, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on what side of the fence you're on, the selection committee looks at that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, so, and I have an opinion, but I'm not going to bring it up this time. But right. Yeah, no. So it's I see exactly what you're saying, and I agree. That helps a lot. And Purdue's kind of been Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde this year. It's like they have the potential to be really great, and they've shown it, and they just haven't been. I mean, and maybe that's maybe I shouldn't speak too hard or too highly, because Notre Dame.
We've had our own problems.
Yeah, Notre Dame's kind of been in the same boat, but yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I like I said, just win the rest of your games, let the pieces fall. People were getting all excited and all upset about the initial playoff rankings. And it's like, dude, the only week that really matters, the only time these playoff rankings matter is at the very, very end. You got to let all these championship games be played. You got to let these regular seasons finish up, and you just got to do what you got to do.
Exactly.
And Notre Dame did what they had to do against Navy. Now on the horizon, it's Virginia,
And I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing, Ben, with us, something that I've seen around a lot of the message boards and whatnot is people calling this a rebuilding year for us. And I'm like, you can't really say it's rebuilding, but I'll say this though: if being 8-1 right now with a chance to go 11-1 is rebuilding, then damn, I love rebuilding.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of see like where they're coming from. You know, like just the way that Notre Dame has struggled and kind of the things that they've had to quote unquote fix.
Right.
You know, and we kind of have that morphing of the offense because we lost our big namer Ian Book, you know, that was the focal point of the offense. We ushered in like the new era, if you will, with Buckner and Colsey, you know, these guys that are up and comings, and all that. So I see what they're getting at, but I don't think a one-loss Notre Dame team is legit rebuilding. I think like Florida's rebuilding right now.
Yeah.
Tennessee's rebuilding.
Unless you want to say there's different kinds of rebuilding, then okay, that I would.
I mean, because like I guess you could consider like us and Alabama rebuilding. You know, just like looking at the struggles that like Alabama's had and the one loss, and they've kind of been up and down this season like us. You know, now granted they're, you know, one of the most dominant teams in the last 2 decades, so I won't put them in the same level as Notre Dame.
Right.
But I think Alabama's up here and Notre Dame's right, you know, underneath Alabama. But yeah, I mean, and that's just fans talking. I you know, we know it. We see it in every fan base. Nobody is happy. You can't please everybody.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't even trying to go on my rant of calling out the realists. I was just saying, like, man, if this is rebuilding, then holy cow.
Yeah, no, and yeah, and I you know, I take some of that with a grain of salt myself, and I also, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's a talking point for off-season video maybe, but
oh yeah. Well, the bottom line is, Ben, we had a 28 point victory yesterday. The only unfortunate thing is we didn't break the 40 point mark like I thought we would.
Yeah.
But I can't really complain about anything yesterday. I mean, we got the result that we wanted, and that's a W.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and people can say, you know, that's being soft or whatever, but in this year of college football, winning is winning. You know, win by a yard, win by a mile. A win's a win.
Yeah, exactly. So. Well, is there anything else that you would like to add? I
got nothing.
All right, guys. So that's all we have for you. And like I said at the start of the video, MSU. I can't say that enough. I love it. Again, if you guys like our content, make sure and hit the subscribe tab. So on that note, I am ND Sean 45.
I'm Irish Benjamin 57.
And as we always say, good night, God bless, and go Irish.
Go Irish.